Hello, my friends. Good morning, good lunch, good afternoon, whatever, depending where you are. To the East West Show, you're welcome. Jack Chow is my name. East West is a show. So together we see if we can better our environment, if we can uplift our life. Uplifting our life is the key. Today, in the efforts of uplifting our life, I would like to introduce you seriously. One more time, a very great friend of mine. Friend, we go back no less than 10 years. Her name is Luann Arredondo, a wonderful individual. I'll give you her title after we put our hands together.
Thank you, Jack. Always good to be here.
Thank you. Luann is a great member of the community, and her title, and she's wearing lots of hats. One of the hats that I like the best is that she is the incoming governor of the 5300 district of Rotray International. Okay. Rotray, yesterday we were talking about Rotray on the show, one of the largest, the largest nonprofit organization of the global earth. And they have 1.5 million members, active members. And their efforts are all over, and yet they do projects taking money out of their own pocket. So that's the greatest part, that's the most beautiful part of the organization. She is the governor, incoming governor for 2018, right?
2019-20.
I see, 2019 and 20, right now getting trained for that great position. In addition to that, she is a commissioner for community service for West Covina, great city of West Covina. And there are many more chances she declined of getting involved. But as a matter of fact, she involves in the activities without getting the title, right? So once again, Lo, my welcome.
Thank you.
Very good. And Rotary is really a big subject, especially in a world when everybody talks about money, when everybody talks about being politically right, yet versus the environment of lots of problems around us, we really have to think twice about what is really being right. Yesterday, I put up a subject called being humanly right.
Yeah. It's a good subject.
Later I got a comment from my colleagues, and those are wonderful compliments about naming that show to be humanly right. So to be humanly right, once again, I would have Lou to do her introduction of Rotary International, of her district, of her incoming job, please.
Okay. Thank you. So I am the incoming, I'm officially titled the Governor Designate.
Governor Designate.
Right, and then beginning July 1, I will become a Governor nominee.
All right.
Then the following year, Governor-elect, and then my governor's year.
Okay.
So each year, learning more and more about the district, about the clubs within the district. We're a big district. We're one of the largest districts in the Rotary world. We span from 90 miles north of Las Vegas, from Mesquite down into southern Nevada and through Las Vegas, down the 15, and then across the 210 into Pasadena, up the 14 all the way up into Rosamond. Which is about a half hour.
Like a U shape, like a J shape.
Yes.
Like a J shape, right?
Yes.
To Antelope Valley.
All the way. It's about 30 minutes north of Antelope Valley into Rosamond.
I see.
And then we're across the 10 all the way into East LA. And then we hover around Chino and those areas as well. So we're a very large district. And part of my role right now is to continue my visits to clubs, which I typically visit a lot of clubs anyways during the year. But this is a more formal visit where I get to go and learn a little bit more about their specific projects, how the district can be a support to them. So we want to unify the local clubs to not only do better work in their local communities and make their cities more vibrant, but also regionally, nationally, and then again across the globe. So it's a big task.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And you know what, and I take it as my take the pride of having you as a friend and a personal friend close to me. And by the way, she and I, we exchange kids, that I be godfather of her son and vice versa. She be godmother for my son. Back those days when they were little, right?
Right. Now they're all grown.
They are taller than I am. They both
now
are.
They're all grown.
All right, very good. Yes, it is easier saying than doing, and easier said than done, right? To actually get involved in all the programs, all the activities. Yesterday we were talking about internationally, and today, if we focus on the district, what are the projects that you are involved with?
So it might surprise the audience to know that a lot of what Rotary involves itself in internationally are the same projects we're involving ourselves in locally here in the United States.
Oh, I see.
And the surrounding countries. But
I see.
We're working on poverty. We're working on homelessness. We're working on hygiene. We're working on peace initiatives. So we look at the inner cities, we look at what are the hurts, what are the things where the cities are really struggling right now. And we think that our poverty level is very different from the poverty level across the globe, but it's still impacting children.
Poverty is a poverty.
Absolutely,
yes.
and it's still impacting children. So a lot of the local clubs will focus on homelessness, projects that put clothes on children in need. It's really hard to see that as we've progressed in the last few years since we're climbing out of this recession, we're really not climbing very far. We have families that are working and still can't afford their rent. Families that are working can't afford a mortgage, can't afford clothes, can't afford food on the table. We have students graduating from college making $20,000 a year.
Okay.
So we still have issues here that we need to address. There's inequities that we have to face with pay for women.
Yeah, exactly. You know, allow me, Luan, for a little insertion here. To lots of people in other countries, they look at the United States, we kind of like a shining star in the sky, like if not a moon, right? Oh, everything U.S. is the best land on earth, right? Okay, we don't deny that. But the thing is that to us, you look around, I've been caught several times by surprise to see how badly, how exactly our poverty is surrounding us. And I came across a story about a woman who has been involved herself in the program called Meals on Wheels. Later stretched to aiding all the homeless. And she says for the 22-something years that, ever since she started, she has fed more than 10,000 or more constantly homeless people under, her term is under the bridge.
Yeah, I believe it.
Under the bridge. Can you believe that?
I believe it.
That's a fact.
Well, I think we're I don't know the correct word for it, but I think we drive through our freeways and our little towns and we see the communities, we see the tall buildings, and we see what is there during the day, and so we believe there's no problem. Just in our own community, the Sunrise Rotary Club puts shoes and socks, a basic need on over 200 kids at the holidays. And that's not even putting a dent on the number of kids, but that's as far as the dollars will stretch.
Okay.
You've got the Covina clubs that put clothing, and they raise hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to put clothing on thousands of kids that have no clothes. And when you go to those projects and you see the kids going to school, but they're wearing shoes that have holes in it, or they have cardboard in their shoes because the shoes have worn out, but they have no money. The parents are making barely enough to put food on the table.
It's unbelievably bad.
Yes.
Unbelievably sad that we have that, and wearing the glories of being the strongest nation of the states. Right. Okay. Now, at the end of the day, you're all always talking about money, right? Okay. Now, when Rotary gets involved, how did you get the money? How did you get the aid? How do you get the money? How do you get the aid?
So local clubs will reach out to their local communities for donations. Rotarians will pull dollars out of their own pocket. And Rotary was started over 100 years ago by Paul Harris. And his belief was that if you help the person sitting next to you, and I say this as a fourth generation Rotarian, so I was raised in the Rotary spirit. And if you help the person next to you, and you fill their cup a little bit. So if their cup is this full and you raise their cup this much, then of the amount you raised it, give back to the community. Give something to help the next generation be better.
All right.
And help them. Help yourself. Make sure you take care of your family. Make sure you're doing the things to help yourself professionally, family-wise, and then the community. So we do reach out to individuals throughout the communities. We also have a rose float that is in the Tournament of Roses parade.
Of course.
And we raise money to create the float. And the reason we do that is to create awareness of Rotary. On one day, 49 to 69 million people across the globe will watch the parade. So when they see the Rotary float, it causes people to say, what's Rotary? And they'll go online and they'll look us up. They'll find a local Rotary club and they'll reach out. Maybe to say, I want to be a Rotarian. Maybe to say, how can I help? Can I roll up my sleeves? Maybe they don't have money, but they want to roll up their sleeves and volunteer. There's lots of ways to help.
Or at least they can say, I have an extra pair of shoes.
Exactly.
Right?
Or it's always the little dollars too.
Yeah, of
so
course,
they might say, well, I don't have a lot of money, but I'll send you $1, I'll send you $5. Well, all those dollars, all those $5, they add up. So we do things like the Rose Float to help us get awareness out to the broad masses. We have local, where we talk to the news. There's events and projects. The key to Rotary is we want to help those, but we also want to get the message out of who we are and what we do. Where 100% goes back to the cause.
In other words, you're actually hands-on.
Yes.
The detailed jobs as down to as little as some pair of shoes.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, you are getting your own Rotarians to put money out of the pocket, put in the basket to help others. And also, yesterday I learned you work with some rich group of people, such as Bill Gates or whoever, to get money also to use the money to help the needy people.
Right.
And in the meantime, all together, you act like seeds, some seeds planted in the radiation. You get the message out, so the whole world will get involved.
Right. And we also address our youth. So while we're addressing the critical needs and not just putting Band-Aids, we want to solve the issues and not just perform triage, we also are looking to grow our youth. So we have youth leadership camps so that we can teach them the importance of school, getting an education, so that they can then become productive members of society. So we're addressing it from the youth side, we're addressing it from the critical needs side, and then the umbrella of everybody else that maybe wants to do good, but they don't really know who to help or where to begin. There's the umbrella there.
The present problems and the posterities.
Correct.
Right. Okay, my dear friend, my dear audiences, I'm once again convinced, very convinced, by the fact that there are people on the global earth who are not shouting slogans, who are not doing shows, but getting involved in helping people, getting involved in planting seeds of love. So I respect them. Let's take a very short moment now. When we come back, we'll continue finding into the different areas how Rotarians or Rotary gets involved. So stay with us, please. Hello, my dear lovely fellow Americans. Welcome back to the East-West Show. My name is Jack Chow. With a lot of pride, I'm hosting this show for years. Constantly, I get touched. I get moved. I get motivated. Sometimes I get very emotional about certain issues. Sometimes I just tap my table to get my anger out, right? So, after all, I'm only human, right? Speaking of human, though, human are the strongest, human are the most vulnerable. We both, we're both. Thanks to the fact that we have those people with the super good heart, they are extending their hands to the needy people, such as the Rotarians. Rotary, when I first heard the name about 15 or 20 years ago, I thought it's just an organization, right? A non-profit organization. They pay themselves handsome salaries, and with the rest of the money, they go kind of like a dealer handing decks, like that kind of thing. No, as a matter of fact, not. They are the ones. They use, I learned, correct me if wrong, they use only 2% to take care of the management only, and all the 98% goes out.
Actually, it's 100%.
Oh, 100%.
100%. We're 100% volunteers. Nobody's paid.
Nobody gets paid.
Nobody gets paid, and 100% of our fundraising goes towards our causes.
Yeah.
So anything that costs the organization money for administration, like the local clubs, the members themselves pay dues to cover those administrative costs. Our dues cover administrative costs, so it comes out of our pocket. If administrative costs go down, and then we split it differently. So it's just a group of individuals coming together, business owners, teachers,
collective efforts.
Collective efforts. We come together, we see what our costs are. Costs are minimal. It's the cost of a website. And membership into Rotary International.
Very good.
So 100% of what we raise goes towards our causes.
And thank you very much for having done that, having done what you have done, and your goal also. I would like to, if I may, look into problems after problems and find out how you deal with it. The most painful area is poverty. And poverty splits to several different areas. For number one, homelessness. Number two, unemployment. They are, of course, related. With unemployment, they become homeless, right? Or vice versa. How do you actually get involved with homelessness?
So our local clubs are the ones that are most directly impacting homelessness. And different clubs will have different programs. Some will go out and feed the homeless. Some will coordinate medical professionals to go out and provide medical care. Others will provide education. Others help and work with partnerships to create hygiene training and the basic necessities.
Homelessness strictly related with hygiene.
Right. So and homelessness
And
covers
hygiene
everything.
with their health conditions.
Health.
And they go in a chain.
Absolutely. Right? There's mental health issues, there's medical conditions, there's family related issues. So many of the local clubs will battle it from different angles. Some will work with food banks to help provide food and serve food to the homeless. Others will provide clothing. So every club picks a project that addresses the issue differently.
About half a year ago, Mayor Garcetti of Los Angeles made a statement at a public event that he will concentrate on his promise that he will deal with the homelessness. That has won the greatest applauses from the audiences, including me, myself. And I see him constantly doing something, trying to minimize the problem. And in Los Angeles, any given night, there were 46,774 on the average level of homeless on the street. And I believe my audience this is a very painful number that might cause you tears to look at, but they are reality. They are reality. With the efforts putting together, we probably can. Okay, now, if we want to look at the problem, they might be too big to think, right? If you look at a certain area versus what you can do, though, something is better than nothing.
Right.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
I can't do 1 million, I can do $1, right? When you cannot do $1, can you do a quarter? Right? A pair of shoes that you're not
Every
using?
penny counts.
Every penny counts.
Every
right?
penny counts.
Okay. So how do you deliver the message, like the way you want to get people be aware of?
So each local club works with their local media. Here in West Covina, the clubs have a community group, and it's the formation of every service club in the city. We have over 32 service clubs in our city. 32.
West Covina City?
West Covina, just West Covina. And West Covina decided that instead of us operating in silos where Rotarians only work with Rotarians, Lions only work with Lions, Elks, Kiwanis, which is the way it was done years ago, and they still made an impact. We quickly recognized 4 years ago that to create a bigger impact, we needed to come together. Me by myself, I can only do so much. Jack and I together, we can do twice as much. Add a third, now we're 3 times bigger. So West Covina formed a community group which is made up of the presidents of every service organization in the city. We meet every other month, so 6 times a year. We coordinate our calendars. We help each other with each other's events. So instead of Rotary, when we raise funds to help the homeless children and put shoes and socks and provide school supplies for them, we now are working with Lions, Kiwanis, Elks. And the whole community group is coming together to help. When Lions puts glasses on the youth, everybody's coming together to donate those glasses. So now instead of one group working really hard, you've got over 1,000 volunteers coming together. If there's a critical need in the city, whether it's cleaning yards, pulling weeds for the elderly, because they can't do that.
Of course, yeah.
Then we come together and we do that once a year. And in April, we're going to be doing that again. The entire service clubs are going to come together on one day and help and make a direct impact to the city.
I see the mechanism now.
So that's how the message spreads.
The mechanism is that when you guys, all the presidents of different clubs, meeting together, you may say, "Hey, next month I'm gonna do a fundraising for school school programs." So school programs, talking about school, for backpacks, right? It is quite obvious. It make a huge difference between the proposal of putting up a proposal worked out with so many beautiful brains say, "Hey, we need a 3rd bathroom on the school camp." Because there are boys, there are girls, there are something in between. This is one voice, and the other voice is that, okay, let's get some school backpacks. for the kids who could not afford. So, which makes bigger sense?
Right.
To me, the latter. Am I right?
Bring everybody together. And I'll even give you an example of this same concept on a bigger scale. So in the November elections, we had a bond initiative, $143 million to upgrade our schools. Many of our local schools had not been upgraded in 60 years. 20 years since the last bond measure for air conditioning. But structurally, the schools were deteriorating rapidly.
I agree.
One individual could campaign, do the signs, make phone calls, but we brought all the groups together. So I was the chair, and as a Rotarian, our mindset is not me, myself, and I. The mindset is we. The cumulative we can do more. And so I reached out to all the service groups and said, this is the state of our schools. These are the critical needs, these are the wants, and these are the desires. So let's forget the wants and the desires. Let's just focus on the critical needs.
You're right.
We need $143 million. Taxpayers pay those dollars. But it was the cumulative effort of all the service clubs, because we're parents. We're not just volunteers. We work in the business world. We're parents. We have children in the school districts. We all came together in 8 weeks. We needed 55% of the vote. We ended up with 74.9. 3/4 of our population, voting population, said, yes, we agree. Let's fix the structure so our kids are safe and can focus on their education.
So
let's come into the
schools
21st
are
century.
being fixed.
So the schools will be taken care of. But that was the we coming together. That's how Rotary works.
The we come together, you get issues after issues done, and once it's done, it's done.
That's it.
Okay?
Move on to the next issue.
Take problem once for good.
Yes.
Another problem once for good. Instead of talking about, scratching your head, talking about, oh my God, we're facing 10 problems.
Right.
Right? And then next day you're still saying we're facing 10 problems.
Right.
Instead of doing that, you're knocking them off one by one.
Right.
That's quite a strategy.
Yeah. And the district, they support the clubs by providing training. Because you have to imagine, if you have a plumber, an electrician, a teacher, a homemaker coming to Rotary to volunteer, they often don't have the same level of skills in the club when it comes to strategic planning, when it comes to project planning, when it comes to fiscal management. So the district provides training, so it trains individuals how to sit on a board. How does a director respond to needs in the community? What are your fiduciary responsibilities as a board member? As a member, we train them on the key and core focuses of Rotary: membership, foundation giving, project management, community service. So we're training our adults who can then go out and train the youth. So we address the entire system, as opposed to, like you said, trying to do a little bit on every little thing. So that's the district's role with the clubs, is to serve as a support mechanism to ensure that whatever needs they have, whether it be training, it might be funding.
In other words, the ideology is one thing, to actually do it in a practical way is the other, all right?
Correct.
Okay, my dear audience, today with my good friend Luann Arredondo, a wonderful individual, the incoming governor for the Rotary International 5300 District, we're having a very good time. I'm learning more about Rotary. I'm learning more about humanitarianism. So stay with us. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the East-West discussion. Name is Jack Chow. With me today is my good friend, Luann Arredondo, the incoming governor of the 5300 District of Rotary International. In addition, she herself is commissioner for community service for West Covina, beautiful city. And she's the one trying to mobilizing around with people, different clubs of Rotray district to put efforts together and in handling with the problems, issue after issue, see if they can help with the negativities to wipe off our poverty, so on and so forth, and the left behind broken schools. Now, you mentioned just now when you were laying down the cards about poverty as is versus unemployment. So unemployment has a big chunk to do with the job creations, right? So what's the Rotary involvement in that area, please?
So we have a program called Job Creation. It was started many years ago by Ray Carlson, and maybe we can even have him on the show to talk about what he's doing with that.
Why not?
But when he started the program, it started in another country. So teaching individuals how to barter, how to create one-page business plans in another country to get microfunding, small dollar amounts, what we would consider a weekend away. Take those dollars, maybe it's buying livestock, that creates more livestock, but it creates trade, it creates a job, teaching them how to sew. And then we quickly learned that while we're impacting others across the globe, we can also impact those here at home. So we took that program and we started to create a business plan competition for high school students. So that allows us to work with high school students, those that maybe don't want to go to college, they still have an opportunity. And we started to partner with community colleges in some of the local areas and some of the trade schools.
Trade schools, yes.
And we started to
vacation schools.
And we started to have open dialogue with the high schools and the school districts to focus on education, but from a different angle. Our students should graduate high school with the ability to go to college if they choose. They have the requisite skills to take that step. If they choose not to go to college, they have the requisite skills to go and enter into a trade. So it was bringing the people together that were operating in silos. So Rotary addresses many issues locally by bringing people together, making sure that the individuals that should be talking are talking and communicating. So again, as an example, in the local community, East West College here in the city is communicating with the school district, helping students train for free. They get to go and tour the campus, spend some time to learn about trades. And then it's a natural progression from high school to go to a trade school. So it creates a job for them.
Exactly.
So they're not unemployed.
Yeah, make
they
some
have
logic.
a skill.
Yes, exactly. A skill, right?
Skill building.
Okay. A skill. Now, you're talking about poverty related to unemployment, which is related to the fact that nowadays competition is getting very, more bloodier because of high skills.
Right.
And high skills are earned from school and learns and it goes to education. It's like a chain,
right?
The revolving chain, right?
Right.
So for you to lay your hands on the school programs, that might be a right approach.
So it's just approaching each issue from every angle. If you imagine an issue being in the center of a triangle, so if this is our triangle and the issue's in the center, there's three sides. One side is the critical need, the impact of doing nothing. That's the unemployed.
Okay.
Those are the students.
And the answer is no.
Those are the individuals with no skills. So we have to address that because we need to keep them fed. We need to keep them hygienically clean because there's medical issues involved there. The other side of that is the education they're receiving up through high school. After high school, traditionally, students are just kind of left on their own. Nobody's really held their hand to say, we're going to move you now from high school to a productive, to being a productive member of our society. You have the basic skills to graduate, but you might not have the basic skills to support yourself. So bringing those units together to help create that skill set addresses that. And then that last angle of education at a higher level, we address with the colleges. How do we get students to move forward? We're individuals, we're volunteers.
Right.
But we can bring people together. So while we're at the grassroots, working on the front line, addressing the critical needs, those that are in the other positions are positioned well to address the other needs. So again, cumulatively coming together to solve a specific need.
To put it in one simple sentence or one simple definition though, unemployment to your eye might happen at the point when kids graduate from high school. They do not have the necessity to go forward as to college or even higher. And back then, to back one step, they do not have the skills of standing on their own financially to establish their own trade. So you kind of fill in to that very point that you have the freedom to go either ahead or back up. Even backing up, you have a skill. For example, how about carpentry? Right? How about goldsmith? Right? Something like that.
And we even take it one step further, that third level is the entrepreneurism.
Okay.
Maybe you don't go to school.
They can create something, right?
And if you look at our economic system, unemployment is caused by lack of skills and lack of jobs. Our gross domestic product here in California, 75% is from the small businesses. Those are entrepreneurs that are creating our economy. So if we address the education piece and we help businesses be more productive and help teach entrepreneurism, because I can have an idea. It doesn't mean I know how to run. I can be a great doctor and not be able to run a good business.
Oh, by the way, you teach business at Phoenix University, right?
I do.
As a professor.
I do.
Okay,
yes.
Very good. So another hat.
So entrepreneurism
hat,
teaches them how to take an idea and turn it into a business.
Develop it into an actual business.
And the more successful our small businesses are, the more jobs we have. The more jobs we have, the less unemployment we have. So it all plays together. Rotary
has a positive cycle.
Right, and Rotary has a hand at every level in all of that because individual Rotarians have individual passions.
All right.
It's our passions that drive us.
Once you have a Rotary, the thing rotates.
Yes, it's a wheel.
It's a wheel, right? Okay,
absolutely.
That's how exactly you start the wheel sign, right? Very good. And I now understand, instead of in addition to prepare kids at a turning point, call it turning point though, there's another route, which is the better route, that you train them into entrepreneurs. They establish their own business, such as Bill Gates.
Yes, he started in a garage.
A garage. And lots of big business people started that way. So you never know who turns into what.
Right.
Right. So that's another approach. Okay. That handles the problem of employment plus poverty, or employment that makes poverty. Okay. And it goes instead turn the negative cycle into a positive cycle.
Right. And then the politicians they have to do their job.
Are they doing good jobs?
You know, I really believe in our system.
All right, good.
And I do believe that our politicians do the best that they can in the system that they're dealing with. Is it a slow bureaucratic will? Yes, we all know that.
Okay.
But I do believe that how we elect our officials and teaching our youth how to vote and how bills become bills and laws become laws is really important to understand, because I think people go into the world thinking none of that impacts them. That it's this far off distant thing, and that's not true. So I think if we start to educate people from all areas, our youth will become stronger, our youth will understand government more. They're our future politicians.
In other words, to be actually a doer.
Yes.
Right? rather than, how should I name it, slogan shouter, okay, or protester, right?
Yeah.
So rather than that, okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Just take us every step, every penny
And
counts.
yet, more beautifully, the money or taken out of your own pocket willingly, right, voluntarily for the help, for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. My dear audience, I'm having an education here, going back to her classroom. So this is a good chance to learn every constantly. When you get bored about your own life, though, think back. There are people who need help. There are people who are not as fortunate as you are. So number one, you feel happy, you cheer up again, almost instantly. Number two, you might think what you can do to help. Right? So with my friend Lou, let's wrap up for this segment, and when we come back, we'll probably find out what do we hear as the call of Rotarians of Rotary Club to get involved for non-Rotarians. For example, me, myself. Right? So stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the discussion about humanitarianism. And we take a Rotary, for example, good example, very best example. And join me today is my good friend, Luann Arredondo, the incoming governor for the 5300 district of Rotary International. Rotary is a big name for over 100 years, established a long time ago for the purpose of helping others next to you. And the person next to you might start helping people next to him or her. And it goes on and on and on and on. It sooner or later will reach the whole surface of the planet globe.
Yes.
Right, okay, very good. With that position, she gets involved with lots of different local clubs under Rotary flag. What do you think that we non-Rotarians can still do, non-Rotarians who recognize Rotary as a wonderful group of people can do to help?
Well, I think there's three things. I think the first thing is if you have a moment, and we're all very busy. We're all busy with our works and our daily lives and our families. But if you have one moment to do one random act of kindness a day, do that. That would help us.
Okay.
One random act of kindness starts that ripple effect. It may be something small.
The ripple effect.
But it starts a ripple effect of doing good in the world. And that in turn would help the work that we're doing. You can look into Rotary clubs. Look at service clubs. If Rotary is not for you, look at other service clubs. Do something. Be active. Get engaged. Get engaged in the community because you live in the community. Why not make it better?
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense, right?
Makes sense, yeah.
If I go into my home and I let it deteriorate, I'm not going to be happy living there. But what do? I engage in my household by having a good family time. I clean the house. I do the laundry. We do the things we need to do to have a good life. So we engage in our home. Engage in the community in which you live. So look around, look for a Rotary club near you. Go to breakfast, go to lunch, go to dinner. And if you do that, tell them, I'm often referred to in the community as Mama Lou. Tell them Mama Lou sent you. And join them. Learn what each local community is doing.
You don't have to be a Rotarian actually doing the Rotarian job.
No.
Well, you get involved.
Just get involved.
Doing things, no matter how little that is.
Help out. And then the third thing I would say is donate dollars. But when people hear the word donate, I think they're fearful of, I have to donate $10,000, $5,000, or it's not going to matter. It's not going to mean anything. No. donate $1. I would challenge the audience to donate $1. How much money do we spend frivolously on fast food, junk food? I'm guilty of it.
Yeah, you're right.
But imagine a city, and we'll use West Covina as an example, 107,000 people in the city. If every person gave $1, that's small. That's nothing.
$107,000.
$107,000 to
that
do good.
Could finish one school.
Well, it could do good in the world. It could do good in your community.
Yes, you're right.
And
you're right.
and if I would challenge people to give $1 a year, $1 a year to make the world a better place.
How about that? Yes.
A year, $1. Think about how much we spend going to games, renting videos, going to the movies.
Oh, speaking of movies, I have a proposal. You know that the EDI, the organization, holds the Chinese American Film Festival each year. And the last year we celebrated the 12th anniversary, right? How about the EDI as an organization, as the committee of Chinese American Film Festival, donate a film?
That would be wonderful.
Because people, no matter who are homeless or homeowners, well, they need to be entertained at a certain time, right? We can't put socks on them, but at least we can give them a film for them to feel good about for 2 hours.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
We can do that.
And you know, film is often...
We buy the copyright and we give it for free.
It's a great
to
idea.
show to the audiences.
It's a great idea. And film can be very uplifting.
And also use the film. Let's do a fundraising for some programs.
It's a great idea.
Say $1 a ticket or $2 a ticket, right? And the money, the proceeds goes to a program. How about that?
It's a great idea. That's a fabulous idea. Well, and you know, film is involved in Rotary. Rotary involves itself with the media because media plays a role in peace and conflict resolution. The more we understand each other, the less conflict between us.
Of course.
And if you go to the film and music are universal languages that impact what we do in the world. If you watch films about violence and it's glorified, you're going to have more violence. If you have films about peace building, you're going to have more peace, more understanding. So we all work together.
We have a very vast selection. We have each year no less than 250 submissions. So the selection is very, very vast. So
I think it's a great idea. Let's have a movie night.
You see a movie night.
$1 for a movie.
Like say Rotray EDI movie night.
Perfect.
For $1 a ticket, it goes to school backpacks. Okay, like that.
It's a great idea.
Or socks for kids, something like that. Okay, and after the show, I'll write a proposal to my management to get that approved.
I think it's a great idea.
Sounds very
I'm all
good.
for it.
See?
Let's do that.
Okay, now, see, that's a good example right now. You're planting a seed in me. You get me motivated, and I'm ready to write a proposal. See? That's how exactly the founder of your organization thought about. Am I right?
Right. Bring people together.
Bring people together.
And
okay,
for another show, how about we bring in the governor's line? We'll bring in Governor Regatta. She takes office July 1. We'll bring in Governor John Chase.
Okay.
He takes office right after her.
Okay.
And then I follow John Chase. So the three of us are working together to create continuity in our leadership.
What a system.
So it's not just Luann in 2019-20. It's Regatta, John, and Luann.
Hey, you know what?
Together.
I wish our presidential election system runs that way.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Let President Obama train Donald Trump, and in the meantime, we put
grooming.
The second one, the third one ready, and then we'll start looking around for the fourth. We're going that way. How about that? Right?
Yes.
Instead of having somebody who just bombs the White House.
And think about the continuity. If we come together and we have that level of continuity, then the programs have sustainability. So you're not just doing something good for one day, you're training.
Sustainable program, problems, right?
Yes.
And the programs.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, very good. So, what's your Rotary plan for this year, for 2017, 18?
So,
and the year when you are in as governor, what you plan to do might sound a very too big a question, but I still want to borrow some.
So this coming year, I'm the chief of staff for incoming Governor Regatta Curry, which allows me to deal with her needs on the day-to-day basis and delve into the district more. With John, I'm working with John in his year, so I have active involvement. My core thing that I want to bring to the table is the legacy that we can create through service. As a fourth generation Rotarian, my great-grandfather was a Rotarian, my grandfather, my father,
myself. By the way, your great-grandfather was the governor of
New Mexico.
New Mexico State,
Second governor of the state.
All right.
And he was also a Rotarian.
All right.
And his platform.
The family has some tradition.
So I want to create that same legacy in the world, for people to understand that if I hadn't had that background and I became a Rotarian today, I'm creating a legacy for my family and future generations. So not only do I have to help these individuals here, but I need to groom my own family to continue that role. So when mom passes away, the next generation continues service to the community. Otherwise, the community drops.
The fourth, it goes the fifth, the sixth, it goes on and on and on, non-stop.
My middle son, Zachary, just became the first fifth generation Rotarian and was inducted by the incoming Rotary International President, Ian Risley. So it's continuing the legacy of giving back.
The legacy goes on.
It doesn't stop. It continues. So, and it's educating that next generation to do good in the world.
Okay, very good. So once you take office, what's your plan to do?
I want to focus on membership. I want to focus on foundation giving. I want to focus on creating broader collaborations, bringing more businesses to the table to work with Rotary, not just the big businesses like Bill Gates, although the Bill Gates Foundation is fabulous to work with, but we need our local clubs to partner with their local businesses. Help the local businesses grow, and in turn the local businesses can give back to Rotary and help relieve the stresses in the local communities. So continuing the legacy of Rotary, absolutely my #1 priority, but adding my own governor's input.
Input.
So creating a broader
that
legacy.
Might have your own characteristics, your personality. Everybody's different and do it different ways, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing, same goal, doing different ways. All right, my dear audiences, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, we're over time, but I'm happy. We say we're happily over time. How about that?
Very good.
Okay, so with Luann Arredondo, we learn a lot. Luann is the incoming governor for 5300th district of Rotary International. She is also commissioner for public service, for community service for City of West Covina. And we are, for 2 days in a row, we are convinced by Rotary International and by their peace-loving activities, right? So next time when we bring the
Governor's line,
we probably continue with the same subject, and then we're expecting Kevin with the community programs, right?
Correct.
Okay, we'll focus instead of focusing all on Trump. We'll let him be busy for a time. We focus our communities. Stay with us. We will constantly bring you good news. So much for today. Well, we'll see.